What up? Welcome to another episode of Ruse Cues. As I mentioned last week, this one is my talk with Elsa, who is Christa's daughter from my most recent episode. Elsa started high school in COVID last year in the fall of 2020 and is actually wrapping up her freshman year now. But this talk is from a few months ago, so as with the Christa one, it's maybe a little dated as far as the news on COVID and all that, but for the most part, I think it's still very, very relevant, especially for people who have had to start school or start new jobs in COVID. I think this is very relatable. So let's just get right into it. Without further ado, here's my talk with Elsa. Boo. Yep, I'm on. All right. Hi, Elsa.
Hello.
How are you holding up?
I'm holding up pretty fine.
Yeah, doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to talk to you because you kind of have a unique experience that a handful of kids around the country have. You started high school. You haven't stepped foot in high school, have you? Nope. That's so crazy to me. All been virtual. So I guess I'm just curious. Like jumping back to like January or February of this year. What were the first conversations with your friends? Like, were people texting, like, we're never going back to, like, what were people saying at first?
I mean, we all thought we were gonna go back, like, after just, like, a week, because it was, like, around spring break anyway, so we were just all expecting to go back, but then we never did.
yeah, then you never did. So you're just, like, at first, were you just, like, right on, we get a long spring break?
Yeah.
That was kind of the idea?
Yeah, that was what the vibe was.
Yeah, a little more optimistic. When did it start to go downward? Like, when were you guys like, when are we going to see each other again?
I mean, after, like, the first 2 weeks, we and, like, the schools were like, yeah, like, we're not going back for at least a month. We're like, oh, and then we just were like, oh, so we're not going to see each other for a while.
Yeah. Oh, geez. That's crazy. So when you get towards the end of the year, what does the graduation process look like for leaving 8th grade? Like, do you have to take tests? Or I kind of forget graduating 8th grade.
I mean, we didn't have to take tests. Like, I mean, the end of 8th grade was like, I mean, because at first we didn't even have to be online at all. We just had to, like, do assignments and watch videos and stuff, because at the time we weren't allowed to have live classes. So the graduation, I mean, like, we didn't have to do, like, any extra tests or anything. I mean, it was just, like, the end of the year, and they just, like, made a video for all the 8th graders. I mean, it wasn't really anything big.
You got a video graduation.
Yeah.
That's what was that? What did they say? Were they just like, yay?
Yeah, they're just like, yay, you graduated from 8th grade.
Yeah, you're, like, watching it in your pajamas at home or something. Yeah. Did you guys do any, like the teachers drive by the school or anything like that? Nothing?
No, they, like, did nothing. I mean, it was just, like, they made a video with, like, our names going across the screen and, like, a few teachers being like, congratulations, you graduated. But that was it.
How did that make you feel? Was it a bummer, or did you not care?
I mean, it was like they could have done something better, like drive by or have us drive by the school or something. But, I mean, otherwise it was just like, whatever.
Yeah. That's a bummer. Yeah. What's a COVID summer vacation look like for someone who's about to start high school?
Mainly just at home, chilling out, really. I mean, I didn't really do anything. I mean, you would talk to your friends, like, on FaceTime and stuff, but, like, otherwise.
Were you able to keep up with your horse riding at all, or?
I mean, at first, we, like, couldn't go at all, and then we started, like, going back slowly. Like, they had to, like, get the horse ready, and we just showed up and then left.
Oh, I guess like, super, like, social distance, everything.
Yeah, and then, but then they slowly had people, like, coming back, but they made it so, like, everyone's, like, lesson was, like, spread out, so, like, there wasn't a bunch of people together.
Cool. Well, that's at least, I know that's passionate for you, so you're able to at least do that. Is it off season right now, or are you still doing it?
I'm still doing it. I mean,
cool.
It's, like, year long.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I have a competition tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Is that, like, your one little bit of normalcy in 2020?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's the only thing that's been sort of normal, even though, like, we've taken breaks and stuff.
Right. You still having fun with it?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. That's I'm glad you still have something in this crazy year. When do you find out that you're gonna start high school virtual, and what's your reaction?
I mean, my reaction was like, I mean, it kind of like sucked too, because like they just like finished rebuilding the high school too, so like
right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we were just like, it was kind of a bummer not being able to like actually go there in person with like a whole new school and stuff, and just like meeting new teachers and stuff online was like very different.
It has to be so weird. Mm-hmm. How do they do that? Are you meeting them live, or do they send like a video?
We meet live every morning. We have 2 live classes, and I mean, like I know with like my mom's private school too, like the kids like have their like screens and cameras on and stuff, but like at public, like it's an optional, like you don't have to. So like the teacher you can see the teacher, and like some kids will have their screens on, but it's also like weird like when calling on students, because sometimes they just won't answer because like they don't have to really, because there's just you just see like their school picture.
Yeah. So do you think, and you're like, do you know, talking to friends, or do you think are there people who just aren't in the room or like are asleep?
I'm positive that some people are just asleep. Yeah. Because I mean, like there's been like classes where like, because like after every class there will be like a 30-minute like office hours, they call it, where like you can like ask questions or something with the teacher, and like they'll just have to end the whole thing because kids will still just be like there because they're like asleep. Oh. So they just have to like kick them out.
They just shut the webcam off.
Because they're just asleep.
Oh, that is terrible.
Yeah.
How has that been learning for you? Does your brain, is it good for virtual, or is it bad?
I mean, it's definitely harder learning virtually because, like, I feel like I'm not just, like, as, like, focused because, like, I'm not in the school environment, so it's just...
Not on a desk and stuff.
Yeah.
Is it easy to get, like, zoned out while you're listening?
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Because, like, they're just showing, like, slideshows and stuff of what we're learning and talking, so...
Yeah, it's like the most boring college classes in the world, it sounds like.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. What are, like, is any class easier or, like, fun to do virtually?
I mean... Not really. I mean, like, just, like, having, like, a physics class, that was the worst thing to do online. I mean, like, even with, like, tests and stuff, like, for, like, my final, too, they just, like, we just had to, like, stay in there, and just, like, she would just, like, randomly pop on the mic and be like, does anyone have any, like, questions or whatever? It's, like, very weird just taking the tests.
Oh, that's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it was harder to learn, too, because, like... I'm more of like a visual learner too, so like not like having all the visuals you normally would in class was harder.
Totally.
Yeah.
Do they try to incorporate any of that on the virtual? Have you noticed? Is there whiteboards? Are they using like visuals?
Yeah, they have like a lot of like interaction things too. So like they have different things like Pear Deck or whatever, where you can like answer questions or like move different things around to like answer things, or like put different things in groups or whatever. And I mean, that's like a pretty good way, I feel like, to learn right now. But otherwise, I mean, they will also like put us in like breakout rooms with like other students, but like no one ever talks in those, so it's not very helpful.
Right.
But
yeah. Oh jeez. What is it like keeping like, are your friends from middle school, are they also at Milwaukee?
Yeah, most of them are. I mean, some of them went, like, I know some people that went to, like, LaSalle and stuff, too, but mainly everyone that I'm close to went to Milwaukee as well.
That's good. So, like, when this is over, you at least will have a crew to like, you know, all high five and whatever when you come into the building. That's good. Have you, I mean, probably a weird question, but have you made any friends during high school, or?
Not really. I mean, kind of. There was this, because I take classes like through like Sabin, Schellenberg too, so like other people from other schools, and I actually met a girl that I actually ride horses with and have a lesson with like once a week. Her sister was actually in one of my classes because she's like part of a triplet So,
Oh,
like,
wow.
she was like, yeah, like, my sister's in that class, too. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I've noticed her. And so,
Cool.
I mean, like, I made that connection with her, but
Right.
otherwise I haven't really met anyone
Yeah.
new.
Yeah, no, I just, you know, I know there's some kids I know just from, like, family friends and stuff who have started middle school or high school, whatever, and it's just like, I don't have any friends, and that's such a sad thought. So I'm glad you at least have, like, a little crew.
Mean, I haven't gotten put any in classes with, like, any of my current friends, really, so that has been harder, like, not being able to, like, work with people on stuff, too.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, everyone's taking different classes, so you can't even, like, chat about school.
Yeah.
Right? Jeez. How do you stay in touch with your friends? Is it mostly Snapchat, or you guys do FaceTimes? Or what?
Yeah, I talk to, like, my main friend group on, like, FaceTime and stuff, and we'll text and use Snapchat and stuff, but...
Right.
Otherwise, I mean, I haven't really talked to anyone that I would, like, at school, mainly, like, other than, like, my main friends.
Right.
Otherwise, like, I haven't talked to them since seeing them at school.
Totally. Have there been, obviously, a lot of negatives. Have there been, like, any positives or highlights of this school year, or anything you think they're doing right to make your experience better?
I mean, they're definitely trying their best to, like... have it be as normal as it can be right now, but I mean, otherwise there hasn't been a ton of, like, positives, I feel like, because I mean, it has been harder to learn, but
right.
I mean, just like the interaction mainly has been harder to do, like, communicate with others.
Yeah. And once this is over, we're, like, not gonna know how to talk to each other at a
Yeah,
party.
seriously.
It's so weird. Yeah. What's been, like, out of all the craziness, what's been the hardest part about high school?
The hardest part has probably just been like talking in the classes and stuff and interacting with other people, because, like, even or just, like, learning some, like, subjects and stuff, because, like, you'll get called on and stuff or asked to be, like, partnered up, like, I've had to do partner projects too, and that's been, like, very hard to do. Like, we'll have to be put out in a breakout room, and I've been, like, put in a breakout room with someone that, like, doesn't talk at all, so I'm like, okay, well, guess I'm doing the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that just... group projects are hard enough in person.
Yeah,
I can't imagine doing a group project on a webcam. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You mentioned, like, you know, people falling asleep and stuff. Have there been any other, like, funny stories that have come out of it? Like,
I mean, I've laughed at, like, my friend about this because, like, I've been, like, on FaceTime with her while she's in another class, and she'll be, like, learning something, and then she'll, like, tell me about something, and then her mic was on, and the teacher will be like, what was that? And she'll be like, oh, and then I have to go, and they, like, record all the, like, classes in case someone, like, misses it, so then we'll, like, go back on the recording and just hear her talking.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and that's happened to a few other, like, people in my classes, too, but... mainly she's done that, like, 3 times, and I've always been the one on the other side that she's been talking to.
That's hilarious.
So.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm not talking to friends. Yeah. I would imagine. I mean, by the time I graduated high school, basically everyone was already on their phone in class, and now I guarantee basically everyone's on their phone in class. Oh, man. When virtual teaching is and learning is over, whenever that is going to be, what are you most excited about?
Just seeing people in person.
Yeah.
I mean, just being there, present, and, like, getting to actually interact with people rather than just, like, watching a class.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Do you think do you think any part of your personality is being, like, affected long term because of this?
Honestly, probably. I feel like my social anxiety will be even more, like, present than it was already, just because I haven't, like, had as many social interactions as I would have been forced into going into a school.
Definitely. Was that something you dealt with a lot in middle school?
Yeah, I had, like, a lot of, like, social anxiety, especially in, like, middle school, especially with, like, the lunchroom and stuff. That was a big part. And then, like, moving into, like, not being present. I've just been like, it's just been like kind of good for me. I mean, like I'm like avoiding it, but then I know like going back into school will definitely be bigger for me because I haven't had to be put in those situations for months.
Yeah, no, lunchroom is crazy, especially if you don't have friends like during your lunch or something. That's hard. Just walking in, there's a million of people going around. Totally. Yeah, no, lunch was always one of the hardest parts of middle school for me too. It's going to be really interesting to see what everyone's like when people come back, because my hope would be that people are going to be a lot nicer in high school, because it's like, hey, we haven't seen each other, we just dealt with all this. So I would hope that when high schoolers return, maybe it'll be a little bit nicer of a place than
I can definitely
is.
see it being like not as loud because people haven't like talked in person forever, and people being more like shy or like more to themselves than they would be.
Totally. Yeah, no, it'll be. I'm sure there's going to be lots of pros and cons and stuff, but hopefully it'll be a positive transition back.
I mean, I feel like it will already be a positive transition just because like I already knew like it would be a good transition going into high school with like a new building, because no one would know where they were going or anything, and so just like coming back even anyway, no one will know where they are. So I feel like it will be mainly a positive transition.
That's a really good point, actually. You're like, nobody knows what's going on. Let's all be nice to each other. Yeah, that's great. Right on. Well, whenever that does happen, I hope it goes well.
Me too.
I mean, that basically wraps it up. I appreciate you letting me talk to you for a bit. Is there any last little things, and it's okay if the answer is no, that you just like want to talk about or mention or say that would be like advice to someone else your age?
I mean, I don't think so, but
yeah. Cool. Yeah. No, you're just doing your thing. You're just like, I'm just trying to survive in my own world.
I'm just trying to pass the classes.
Just trying to pass the classes. Right on. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you, Elsa. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I highly doubt I would have the discipline or drive to succeed in school in these times. So I am glad I did not have to be involved in that. But to anyone who did, my heart goes out to you, and you're all a bunch of rock stars. I'm hoping good things come your way. Thanks again for listening to another episode of Ruse Cues. Well, thank you again. I don't know if I thank you the first time. We're doing one takes with these, baby. Thank you. Definitely got many thanks out for listening to Ruse Cues. I'll be back with another episode of Fickle Future pretty soon. This is a weirdly uploaded episode. I was out of town, so this is a late upload. So there's actually going to be another Ruse Cues coming out right after this. But then we'll get back to our normal schedule. Fickle Future, Ruse Cues. Fickle Future, Ruse Cues. Groovy. Okay. Bye.